How's that? What do we think about
I reckon still better than whatever Brathwaite does.
that?
Do you know
It's
what?
somehow it's somehow less awkward.
I actually couldn't even tell you what Brathwaite does because I normally just tune out.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
usually it's I just wait for him to kind of insult me, and then
yeah.
I kind of pick it up from there. I've decided
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my headphones on for this.
Ooh, look at the change. Look at the
Yeah,
change.
there's a bit of change going on, like for the benefit of those with
Playing at
watching.
home.
I've changed my camera setup, so you now got a top down look at me, which is a bit different.
It's good to see the viewers are now considered to be above you.
Above, yeah, even though I'm above everybody else. Hey, let's go.
Oh, we said
Uh,
it, honestly.
I mean, when there's such a good transition, well, I can't help but just jump straight into it. But
All right.
we are recording on a early record this week. So it's a
Yes.
Tuesday after a couple of like late ones. But um, we are fresh, and I think it might as well just jump straight into your matchup, maybe.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. While it still is fresh, and while like I dare say for the ones who only listen to it and don't watch it, like the pain that's on my face right now probably says it all. The tone of
Yeah,
my
and
voice, I'm not very chipper.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
Part of Matt died today, and
yeah, it's tough. But yeah, just what do you do in this situation? Like you're on the we're talking about it obviously off the airwaves, and you're on the other side of it. Obviously last week, and we're talking about
correct.
how you were confident and everything like that. I was just as confident coming into halftime, like halftime of the game. I'm thinking, oh, we're good to go. Like Josh Allen's already ran one in. I'm thinking, yeah, we're sweet here.
Yeah,
Like all he has to do is get down the field, and we're good to go. The only issue I thought was, oh, I hope that fumble doesn't fuck me. And look what it did. It fucked me. So
the problem with fantasy is that it actually does take into account the opponent, especially when you've got the quarterback. That like I was watching it live as it happened, and I was talking to Dougal through the chat, and he was like, "Oh, Robbo's probably got this sorted," and I think you were like 8 points down, and I was like, "Nah, I don't reckon he has it," and he was like, "Oh, I don't know, like still a half of football to go, Josh Allen tight game," and I was like, "Yeah, oh yeah, I guess so," and then yeah, what 3 minutes to go. Aaron
yep,
Rodgers throws a pick, and
yep,
the game score was still 23 to Buffalo, 20 to the New York Jets. And that's game over because you
yep,
just run the ball.
yep. If
Josh
he
Allen takes a few knees, like
Yep.
game.
Yep. If he all I could have hoped for was that they scored, even if it was kicked a field goal, good to go, we're coming into a draw, and then all of a sudden he can start slinging it again. Yeah, I was pretty excited at halftime, and I just thought, fuck, I hope New York can actually just keep playing some sort of offense. But
And they
yeah,
almost did. They almost did.
nearly did. Yeah,
Because there
but
was also another moment where what Rodgers almost fumbled, but like essentially threw the ball down
Drew,
and,
yeah,
incomplete pass. Like to me, that's not an incomplete pass, that's a fumble, but
yep. As soon
master
as
of the
the
game knows the rules.
Yep, yep. Well, people who actually, are born with it and grow up with it probably have more of an idea than what us guys do.
Mm,
So,
mm.
yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I probably can't be too harsh on coming into the final game. I should probably just decide to drop Trav Etienne because goodness gracious me, that's next level. Considered week to week, you might as well go fucking fire him and go tell him to go play with the practice squad because he's done. He is cooked.
It's washed, yeah. It's actually
Absolutely
like
cooked.
if you look at some of these scores, I don't know, like obviously, and we've got a special segment today, just probably inspired by ETN, but
Yeah.
given that like obviously a negative, incredible to see that. Last week he had, did he have a knock as well that he was like
Yeah,
totally out of
I
his
think he had
pads?
shoulder off the top of
Yeah.
his off the top of my head. But yeah, to like he's done himself in because Bigsby looks so much better than what he does. Looks so
Yeah.
and I said I was scared of the London game and everything like that, but yeah, like yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously the neg point one there doesn't
Yep.
help. I mean, again, like not that Miami's done you any favors this week, this year, but having those two on bye, like you probably would have gotten a little bit more.
Yeah,
Um,
probably would have helped, but at the end of the day, you can only win with who you've got. The only good thing is that J.K. Dobbins looks really good.
yeah, he's
Um,
finally kind of come on, hasn't he?
yeah, he's the man. I'm so glad that Riz decided to drop him because that's the only good thing that's really going on with my team at the moment in any of the skill positions.
What's the story with Dobbins? Has he come back from two bad injuries? Is that him or is that the
I
other
know
guy?
that I reckon it was, but the last one was like what's their injury that they claim that you can never come back from? Is it the knee or is it
Uh,
something else that they go no running
yeah,
back ever comes back from it? Blah blah blah. And he's done it. So
yeah.
yeah, he looks fucking shit up to be honest.
Not going to tell me. Yeah, cool.
So
Well, bright news for next week, but yeah, obviously that slips you to 1-5. 1-6 because it hasn't.
one
Yeah.
yeah no no this is week 6. This week is so it is 1-5. Yep, it's a killer.
That's
It
awful.
hurts. Yeah, let's move on.
Then we've got Jack kind of comfortably taking care of Marty.
Comes
Jack just
back.
really swinging, isn't he? He's a real
Yep,
pendulum at the moment.
comes back to 3-3 now. Now he's back to being fantasy relevant. Like you look at like between the party, Strapper, who else? Sweepers is also 3-3. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit of Droff as well. Bit of a lockjam now, and then literally under that, like everyone else is looking the goods, and then there's literally just me and the buy.
Probably the other
Who
one to touch
won?
on as well is the buy getting his maiden win for the season, which is
I've
pretty incredible.
I've never seen that. I've actually never seen that in any fixturing of any sort. I've never seen the buy get up.
So Riz benefiting off a near Berg from Jordan Love. DeAndre Swift has just taken new
Yeah,
life as well, which is incredible. That Chicago offense is looking really good and looked really good in London, which is pretty unheard of to go international and actually have a good offensive game.
yeah. You take that any day of the week.
And then there's a few like obviously Swift. We I think we talked about it on like some of the draft recaps. Chase Brown is probably what a waiver pickup to
Yep,
get him in the end zone is really nice.
yep. Debo
He's
finally doing some things.
yeah with one really long touchdown, and then obviously benefited from a few carries. Given that I think
Yep.
Meso went down this week as
Yeah, he
well.
did. He did. He did.
He's bet on
And
the right tight end now with McBride. 8 from 8 for 96 yards. That's really impressive.
yep.
Demont getting in the end zone. Incredible. Just
You'd
really
be
nice. A really nice score.
you'd be pretty dirty right now, wouldn't you? Being strapped,
Oh, you'd be
you'd
filthy.
be
I'd like
fuming.
I'd be having a few conversations with you boys. Just
I yeah. I'd also I'd just be asking, did you have you gone from the under 14s back down to the under 12s or something? Like has Riz's boys just completely changed divisions and become good again? Like
yeah.
what's the go? Like it doesn't just happen like this, but apparently it does. And yeah, poor Strat is
Yeah,
absolutely.
so he's obviously copped a knock with Meso. I
Yep.
don't know. It'll be interesting to
And
see.
McCaffrey's not that long away, they reckon as well. They're really going to try him in the next week or two. So that's going to
Yeah.
be scary for him as well. So obviously George Kittle getting in the end zone twice helps his numbers a
It
fair
was
bit.
mass. Yeah, and he
Um,
was probably looking at his team, given that that was the Friday game,
oh,
being like, this is pretty sweet.
this fantasy football stuff's easy.
Yeah, yeah, and a
But
full buy roster.
yeah,
Another one
yeah.
to touch on was the top of the table clash between Kelly and Michael. So I'll just bring that
Genuine
up.
fizzer, genuine fizzer.
Yeah. If we just look at our tipping from last week, we
Yeah,
actually tipped the scores for this, and I had Kelly to win with a score of 126, and you had Billy to win with a score of 119.
it's
So
close. They
yeah,
were
we were
close.
close. You got the nine
Really?
right. You've got
Yeah.
this. You've
Yep.
got this.
Yep. Yep. And you at least got near triple digits, so that's
Yeah, yeah.
positives for you.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Kelly
Thank you for
continues
that.
to cook.
Yep. Yep. Um, Look, it's still a formidable bloody side to be playing.
Yeah. Did
Like
you
the
watch
Giants
much football
again.
this week?
I've
I
watched.
only really caught the a little bit of red zone before I went to work, and then I watched the game in 40 for the Baltimore Washington
Well,
game.
I'm going to tell you right now. I woke up at 4 a.m. I looked at what happened in the London game. I cracked the shits and went back to sleep. I had enough.
Yeah,
I,
fair
I
enough.
thought, no, I'm not doing this. And I had no one in the 4 a.m. I had one person, I think, in the 4 a.m. time slot. So I just went, no, that's me. That's me back to bed. So I've watched fuck all football.
Yeah. Well, I
So
would say that my main takeaway from the Baltimore game is that Zay Flowers is just like open anywhere with yards after the catch to burn.
yeah,
Like, just Lamar Jackson is just having more time in the pocket than I think he ever has. Like, that O line is so good, and you're seeing it pay off, not only for Lamar, but obviously like that run heavy
I
offense with Derrick Henry.
was
And
about to
Zay
say
Flowers
that.
is just down the field. He's just down there standing open and he's catching it, he's turning, he's doing a move, and he's getting a little bit further down.
Helps when you have to pretty much have him one on one because you've got to try and stack the box to be able to stop the king. And if
Yeah.
it's not the king, then you've got the two-prong run game with the other running back who disguises himself as a quarterback.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you do? Obviously, Zayflower's pretty stoked to come on the end of that. I do want to go up and go just have a look at Calvin Ridley. Did you see what happened and what got said there?
Yeah,
Um,
so Calvin Ridley is actually starting on my squad as well, so I'm pretty familiar with what's
yeah, yeah,
happening. But
yeah.
I think I watched a supercut on formerly known as Twitter of all of his eight targets, and I think of maybe of all eight, maybe three of them he was in the frame of the pitcher for that
That
target.
That's more what I was asking for. When it said 0 of 8, I went,
It's
"You've
like
done an Amari Cooper. Is he just dropped all of them, or
no, he maybe dropped two that
yeah,
might have hit him in the number, but then a lot of them were just like, fuck it, I'm going to get the ball out. And he is the closest receiver in
yeah,
terms of like intentional grounding. So
yeah,
I think his media quote after the game was like,
pretty fair
yeah,
enough."
all my targets came in the second half. Like, get me the ball in the first.
Yeah,
Like, please.
yeah. I
Um,
can't blame him. I can't blame him. Like
yeah, and
you get
these
paid some
points
money to go somewhere.
came from rushing as well. So it's like they
Yeah,
obviously felt really guilty. So they're like, "Oh, sweet, let's just run a jet sweep or whatever, try and
yeah.
send him around the end."
Let's get someone near the ball.
Yeah, no, does not look good. Does not look good.
Yeah, is that Kelly also playing a injured James Cook as well? Just tried to roll with it.
Just well, obviously she probably had it sewn up coming into today, so didn't
Yeah,
have to make any actions. But yeah, didn't make any changes off her bench, which is that's fine. Billy also didn't play defense, so
yeah, yeah,
that's what it is. Dougal with the team high, the league high score of 141,
yeah, yeah. The
doing
division
off the
high.
back of Jaden Daniels just continuing to score points despite
God, he looks good.
losing.
Well,
Yeah, he looks
I know,
great. Really
like,
fun offense.
yeah, yeah, and I know that they lost and all that sort of stuff, but they gave him a fair shake. Like
Yeah,
I did watch I watched Red Zone. I reckon I watched it for the second half.
yeah,
I reckon I got back up at like 5:30 ish or whatever it was, and yeah, and he looks good. He looks real
yeah.
good. I really like him. Look, the
That
only
that
real
offense looks really fun, and I think he was probably hampered by the fact they didn't have Ryan Robinson Jr. as well, so
yeah,
it just kind of limited them a little bit.
yeah,
But yeah, they'll bounce back.
no, absolutely. Look, what do you think on Jerome Ford? Surely he can't. Like, I know he's questionable and all that. Did he get an injury in the end? Is that what ended up happening?
Jerome Ford, is that on this? Oh, where am I
Yep.
looking?
Just
Yeah.
Nick Chubb till week 7.
Yeah, he's got hamstring considered week to
Hamstring.
week.
Yep. So pretty much going to be perfect for Nick Chubb to come in. You'll just drop Jerome Ford.
Yeah.
Dougal's still sitting pretty.
And Dougal's primed, ready for that.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. That's
Dougal
fair.
will be pumped that he got away with a league high score. Like obviously you always are. Brees Hall coming back to life. Tank Dell coming back to life. Mark
Yep.
Andrews coming back to life. AJ
Yeah.
Brown returning from industry
Which that's bullshit. Three or
injury.
four, 66 and a tutty. Like
Yeah.
we can't really think that. Yeah,
Just
and
another like Washington, just a soft belly defense that,
yeah,
you know,
they're going to be like what Detroit was last year. Just we're
yeah.
going to try and outscore you. We don't
Yeah.
care how many times our defense gets scored on. We're
Yeah.
going to try our best to outscore you. So
And again, I watched that game. Like Mark Andrews, for the most part, was the third read in all of
yeah,
those throws.
yeah.
Like he's like, oh shit, there he is. What's his name? I forgot him. That's not Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, well, that's it. I reckon he just thought he was thrown to his eye likely and thought, oh
Yeah,
no, damn it. I will say Bijan as well, getting back into the well. finally getting in the end zone.
Yeah.
Finally getting some 6 pointers. So that probably helps. Like he's had the carries. He just is allergic to being anywhere near that 1 yard
Yeah.
line and getting
And
it.
it's always just a good get right game to beat up on Carolina as well. So,
Yeah,
if he wasn't going to do it this week, he might not ever do it. So, yeah, I mean, like you look at Dougal's team and you're like, phew, that's pretty fierce.
yeah,
Cup like 2 weeks away. Sorry. Chubb coming back this week. Nico probably 3 weeks. Puka, like he's been picked up in our league as well. He might be 2 or so weeks away.
yeah. Not sure there. Look, obviously, if everyone's healthy, he'd be the favourite to win it. You'd think from here on in, as long as there's not more injuries, which we all know in NFL is never the case.
Yeah.
It ends up being a shit show.
And
So,
especially with the Eagles just kind of coming back to earth after the hot start that we were
yep,
for so happy that Kelly had picked, really.
yep, yep,
Just taking a look at the standings now, we've still got Kelly in the first position with 5-1, and then two teams 4-2, being Billy and Dougal. Then Marty Party on fourth with 3-3, ahead of Strap, Droff, and Sweepers, and Jack all on three
yeah.
and
What a
three. So
lock
that's
jam! What a
one,
lock
two,
jam!
three, four, five. You see that? I'm counting with my finger just to make sure. There's five teams can confirm, and then yourself and Riz bringing up the
Thanks
rear.
for including us in the league. It's really very nice of you. You probably don't have to from here on in because we're yeah, not really. Apart from when we
I
play each other, we're going to be big rivalry. But other than that, it's yeah.
I think now's a good time as ever. Pat, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, we need to decipher what the punishment is, hoping
Yes,
that our
yep.
boy Robbo
We,
gets it.
we do. No, no, I will do it. I won't do a jack, and I won't say, "Oh well, I have everyone's money, so I can do whatever I like." We will do it. I would like to know what that's on to as well. By the way, I reckon a repost would go all right.
Yeah, I could probably tell you. Leave it with me, but let's
Yep,
get
yep.
on the uh get on these matchups here. So
Um,
we'll start from the bottom just so we can end with mine.
Yep, I was talking to Clem about this because I was saying how this was yesterday and he was just absolutely abusing. Yeah, he wasn't happy pretty much because he wasn't even in the fight, and he's like, "How the fuck can you enjoy fantasy when you're not even in the fight?" He goes,
Nothing
"Oh,
worse than weeks where you might as well not have opened the app.
"Yep,
Nothing
correct,
worse.
correct," and you can't even complain or anything like that because Tim also had Chris Olave who had negative 2.5, so you know.
Very rare to get away with a win in a in a side that played a negative receiver and then also coming up against a negative running back. That's
Yeah,
pretty unheard of.
pretty unreal matchup to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You can't even get your maximum points. You were better off just not starting them at all.
Yeah. Obviously after Chris Olave, I heard him last week as well, which we covered at length on the pod.
Yeah, yeah,
Tim's team looked really good. 126. We've got 25 from Josh Allen, 25 from Derrick Henry, 16 from Swift, skipping over
yeah.
Olave. Just really touchdowns down the board, like even
Yeah,
down to Najee Harris, who also looked pretty good, had a bit of
yeah.
juice.
Well, 14 carries has probably been his highest actual tally count or touch count for a fair while, to be honest. Now that there's no Jalen Warren in there,
Well, I think Jalen Warren came back for this game. I'm
did
pretty sure.
he? Well, he had.
Yeah.
Oh, he may have. You might be right there. Oh,
Uh,
again, he's against Las Vegas too, and the script
yeah.
helped as well. So,
Yeah.
um,
And then he's also, it's worth noting that the kicker inflation, getting kicker on Pittsburgh is like, it's hacks because all they do
that's
is kick
cheat
field
code.
goals.
Genuine, genuine cheat code.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Pretty good. Also had a well-scoring bench. So Tick will be enjoying a few Changs over in Thailand.
he certainly will be. This had a bit in it, to be honest. I know. I've talked to obviously we've got the left hand side down pat because obviously there's a fair bit of chat that goes on with sorting out pod stuff and
Hmm.
everything like that. So Braff was yeah, Braff was pretty happy. He was extending the wings out pretty far. And then I jumped onto the other side and really asked Hayden what he thought. And considering that we really never want to have him on, I thought I'd let everyone in. He sent me a message and he said how the fuck does my team do that? And he's like, how have I lost three in a row? This is bullshit. He's not happy, and I just thought everyone would like to know that because I thought it
Yeah.
was great.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's some good scores on his side. Like Hertz coming in at 24, that's fine. Bijan 22, that's incredible. It just comes down to like this lower fold where Josh Jacobs didn't find the end zone, neither did CeeDee Lamb, and Dak looks a little bit lost against the Detroit Lions. That
oh,
score was 9-47.
Dallas
Um,
look done, don't they?
yeah, they
Look done.
just can't do anything. And like people were like the actual NFL football media pundits that I listened to were saying that this could be a thrashing. Like this could be 40 points to Detroit. And you know, it was.
That was
Detroit were thrown to the O linemen. Like they're running hook and ladders at
God,
Penei
that was
Sewell.
entertaining, wasn't it?
Like,
That was
mate,
so entertaining. That was friggin' hilarious. That was unreal. Yeah, just that game script was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The only good thing is that obviously AJ Brown came back, which is his favorite player. So that
and
obviously
he
helped.
looked great. Yeah, he looked
He looked
fantastic.
phenomenal. That catch, he just sticks the hands to the like piss off.
Yeah.
Like
Some blokes
half
just make it
of,
look easy, don't they?
it's just not fair, is it?
Yeah, you'd be pretty flat if you play him, like
Yep.
especially because 107 wins you a couple matchups in the league.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
not this one.
No. No. It doesn't. The international audience, the battle of where are they? Bali, Thailand. Where are they? Wherever they are.
Some sort
Overseas.
Fifi Island,
Yeah,
whatever.
something like that.
Um,
Bit of a
cool. It was
fizzer as
cool.
well. Yeah, bit of
Yeah,
a fizzer.
yeah.
Zach would have been pretty happy. Would have been letting Tocco know, I reckon.
I was looking at this when I was pulling the tipping results, and I had on my spreadsheet I had recorded what I tipped, which was Tom at 108 to win. And I was like, oh, I can't remember. I hadn't written what you'd written down, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it was pretty close to whatever
I
I
reckon I
said.
was. I reckon I was 103. I reckon off
I
the top.
went back and watched it just because,
Oh,
you got to do your due diligence. And I thought you'd said 107, but you actually said 98. And I was
oh,
real hyped for the moment where I thought you said 107 because I was
that
like,
would have
oh,
been
fuck.
that would have
I
been
owe Matt
phenomenal.
dinner.
Yeah, that would have been phenomenal, and it would have been a great excuse for us to both catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially without Brackley.
Yes, especially.
Would have been phenomenal.
Pretty good performance from
Yeah,
Zach's, like CJ Stroud continuing to be the man beating up that New England defense. Tony Pollard kind of finding the end zone with
just
close to 100 yards.
yeah,
You'd
keeps
love
doing his
that.
things, involved in the offense, which
Yeah.
helps.
Kenny Walker always, pretty good for an end zone find on that
Yeah,
kind of offense as well. T. Higgins looked great, 7 from 7 for 77 yards. We kind of
we
love
love
that
that. We love a bit
synergy.
of numerology.
Shaheed is probably going to be out for a little bit of a while. He was a bit of a find on the waiver wire as well. That
Yeah.
New Orleans offense is starting to stall a little bit if you're not Alvin Kamara.
What was he
Um,
in the top two? Wasn't he a top two or three wide receiver after the first 3 weeks or something?
he definitely was. He slipped down to 11 now, but he had those first 2 weeks where he had those long touchdowns.
Yes.
Hasn't
Yep.
had.
Yep.
I think he must have had one against Kansas City as well.
Yeah.
But
There was.
he also returned one last week, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe
you
this week he
might be.
returned one.
You
No, I
might
think this
be
week he
right.
returned one
It
as
should
part of.
be returning. Mm, Yeah, special teams touchdown.
Yeah, that's pretty stiff.
Yep.
Did you watch any of this Tampa Bay New Orleans game?
I only watched a little bit. I actually watched. Yeah, I only watched a little bit. I didn't see a whole lot of it.
So the score
Oh,
finished at 27-51 for Tampa Bay to win.
wasn't it like 40 something to like nine or like something
It's
bullshit like that?
so at the end of the first half, I think it was like 21 or 22. It was around 3 touchdowns to Tampa Bay. In the third quarter, New Orleans scored 27 points. Baker Mayfield threw 3 interceptions. And they also scored, like Tampa Bay also scored a touchdown. So all of New Orleans' points came in that third quarter, like
Wow,
including field goals, including
wow.
conversions, all of that stuff. Like if you want to watch it, it's like pretty entertaining.
I
It's
was about to say
like,
I might have to watch that to be honest.
yeah, watch the
Um,
game in 40. I reckon that's pretty
yeah,
fun. Spencer
yeah,
Rattler just going out there slinging that
yeah.
thing.
Love
Pretty
that. We
fun.
love that.
Not much else to report here, but yeah, I hope Zach's had a
Totally.
few
Yep.
bintangs.
Great work from David.
Foot brush, just in a bit of a walkover against Pat. Kyle Murray not doing much now that he's named on the new Call of Duty.
Yep.
Pat also playing Kyrie Williams, who was on a bye, so he's probably folded this up pretty early.
Yeah, I reckon he may have just gone, don't worry about it. And that might be why. I reckon he's gone, I'll take the L, thank you. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
no
Um,
moves.
yeah,
Pretty stiff. Dallas got it. Hamstring ruled
yeah.
out as well,
Yep.
so not
Yep.
good. He was very much the informed tight end one, I think, up until his bye round.
Yes, yes, would have to agree. He was probably the only one that actually looked half decent out of
Yeah.
the whole tight end group for the start of the year. So I'll probably apart from Brock Bowers is probably the only other one that was
Yes. Yeah, I think
um
that no, you're right. Brock Bowers is number one, and then Dallas had the most targets, I think.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's how it broke
So
out.
yeah, but Footbrush just keeps on getting it done. Trying to sit up nice and high with where you are in New
Oh,
York.
the other
So,
bit of football scene that I kind of wanted to cover off on. We had an in-depth conversation about Malik Neighbors last week,
yep.
whether or not he was going to play, and I was like, yeah, he's going to play. Concussion, like they don't really take it seriously. He's going to serve his 10 days out, and he's going to come back in. He sat for this game with his concussion. He didn't train all week, but I don't know if you saw there was footage of him attending a Travis
Oh,
Scott concert
I
on a
did see
Monday
this.
night.
I did see this. Like, oh my God. How dumb are these blokes?
I
Like,
just like also like the
oh,
footage of him is like from the mosh pit. Like he's
yeah.
exiting the mosh pit. Like, dude, just if you're gonna do it, go to a suite. Like you've
Yep.
got more money than God.
Yep. Yep. Well, at what point are you sitting there going, yep, this is a great idea? I haven't even been able to go to my job yet.
Yeah.
I'm able to do, yeah.
I can't see flashing lights because my head hurts too much. I better go to a
Yep.
rap
I better,
concert.
you know what? I better test it out before I go back to work to see if it's going to pay off. And you know what? I end up getting a headache from it again. So I'm sorry.
It's pretty awesome. I'd be interested to know whether that second ruling out was because of the concussion or probably disciplinary.
I'd
I
have
would
to
have
have been
thought.
disciplinary, but I reckon they're sitting there going, "Hey, we'll look after you because you're just a young fella. We'll look
Yeah.
after you, but don't let it happen again."
Everybody gets one. I
Yep,
think that's
yep,
sort of the vibe.
yep.
Last matchup for the round, me kind of walking over Kobe, ended up
Which
being
is phenomenal.
36
Oh,
points. I do miss the days when Kobe was good. I will say it. Like I quite liked
okay.
it. Obviously he last year, for those who weren't in the league, he went what 13-0 before I was his kryptonite, and
Yes,
in
yes,
a middling year for myself as well.
yep,
So
yep.
pretty good just to
He,
get to keep the party going.
Do you know what though? The one thing I don't like is that he has really jumped on his previous win of last year and saying, oh, how good I was and blah blah blah. Look, at the end of the day, mate, you can't turn around and say you can say you're reigning champ, that I'm all sweet with, but you can't talk about how you got there and how good you were last year.
Nah.
You can say I won. That's
All
all
you
you
got
can
to do, Cope,
move on.
take my advice. And again, I've never won, so grain of salt. Selfie with the trophy. All you got to
Yep,
do. Shuts
yep,
everyone up.
yep.
Can't come back to that.
But you don't turn around and tell everyone how fucking good you were
Yeah.
last year. Because last time I checked, you've been pox this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So live in the moment, just be better, get better. Stop playing players like ETN and Jerome Ford.
And he's
And
got a few issues as well. Like obviously
oh
Jerome Ford probably out now.
yeah, hopefully McCaffrey for his sake comes back at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, we'll jump into that later on, I dare say. Yeah, I've got a bit to jump on with that.
And now we're just looking at the standings. So it's myself at 5-1, keep staying a game clear, which is really
Love that.
exciting for myself. Followed by Footbrush and Zach's both on 4-2. Fourth place is Bradley, starting with the logjam of 3-3, which is one, two, three, four players.
Oh, and we've counted again. I'm pretty
We've
sure I saw
counted,
this
yeah.
again.
I've got so
Oh,
I know that I could point the camera down, but it's not as sexy. Which
one
is
of those.
Heyman, Tom, Pat, Clem and Kobe both 2-4, and then Tick getting his maiden win of the year to be
Yeah,
1-5.
back to being some sort of relevance of any sort.
Now, just to take we're gonna do a little bit of a switch up because given that we're recording on a Tuesday, we don't have waivers to jump into. We can't really analyze what's going on, but we thought it might be a worthwhile exercise to jump into last year, to the draft, revisit the draft. Obviously, we've just finished round six. So super interesting to see how it's all kind of shaken out now that we've got the benefit of hindsight. I'm going to pull up, how we're going to do this is I'm going to pull up the MAMS division and I'm going to ask Matt to boom or doom it.
Yep.
Boom or doom. Just getting
Yep.
used to the framing of the
Yep.
new camera. And we're going to go through the first two rounds and kind of just talk about what's interesting, starting in the MAMS, and then we'll move to the Flash and cover off whatever we haven't touched on there.
I like
You
it.
ready to go?
Yeah, I can start ripping some blokes that keep on turning around and telling me, oh, we can't hear you all the way down there. So it's about time there's a bit of power that comes back. And might I add, can I start with the bloke I just ripped before with Toby? Like, mate, you went the double. Like, I'm just going to whip this out straight away. Two dooms in your first two picks. Like, two absolute dooms. Like, so bad, terrible. The worst thing is you've still got both of them too, and they're still not producing. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Normally, you sit there and you go, "All right, McCaffrey's been injured the whole time. I can cop this and everything like that." But to win your own draft, win your own pick that you can have, then go and pick him, and then follow it up with the bloke who was holding out as well for contract negotiations, and he's been shitful. You can't tell me that, like, that is the
It's
biggest doom.
huge,
Like,
huge doom.
I don't care about anyone else, but everyone else, that is the biggest doom. I think those two picks right there.
I
That
think it's best summed up, and I've shared this meme I think a couple of times in the group now, but it's like it's Seth Rogen and Step Brothers being like, now the tuxedos seem a little fucked up. It's like drafting a guy one of one that had a calf injury coming into the year.
Yeah.
Now in hindsight, seems a little bit fucked up.
Do you know the good thing about it all though is, and it's good for the 11 other blokes, is that the early drafting, which we all did not like at all, has bitten him the most.
The
That's the best
most.
part about it. Is so now he'll know when he wins it. After he goes down, because I can't see him winning any other games coming into it. Even with McCaffrey coming back, they're going to really nurse him. So yeah,
Yeah.
it worries me a fair bit. So, but anyway, that's a doom. Both of those
Yeah.
are. I'm going to
And not
keep.
to get too greedy as well, but like going down the roster here of his draft picks, Mike Evans, not as good as
That's problem.
game scripts kind of flipped to Chris Godwin now.
Yep.
Richardson, I think, is back on the waiver wire.
Yep.
George Kittle, down year for tight ends, but he's probably the best. He's one of the best of them. T. Higgins looks good, but missed the first couple of weeks. Javante's probably on the waiver wire. Same with Keon Coleman, Christian Watson.
Yeah, Zeke, like all of them, the rest of them, he's literally got a waiver wide team. Does he even? I'm pretty sure he sold Mixo as well, so I'm pretty sure he definitely doesn't have him either. So,
Well, that's good from him if he did.
well, Mixo's come
All
back
Mixer's back
this
though,
week.
isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he dominated this week. So yeah, so
Rough.
that's definitely interesting. But anyway, moving on. Tyreek
Next
Hill,
man.
obviously, yeah, that's a it is stiff, but at the end of the day, that's a doom at the moment, purely on the whole team as a whole. So that's just a straight out doom because no Tua, no Miami. Moving on, CD again, Dallas are nowhere. Dallas are nowhere to be seen, and I honestly did not pick that at all.
No, who could have?
You can cop that. Brees Hall,
I forgot that I was on this list. I actually just
I I've got
go
him.
on. You've got to do it. You've
I've
got to
got
do
him
it
as a
to
doom. I've got
speed.
him as a doom. But obviously the game today helped a lot.
Yeah, them
That
firing their coach helped.
Yep, and obviously them actually putting the ball in their one of their best players' hands seems to improve them. So it's funny, but I think he's a doom at the moment. But I think he will end up flipping the script. Jamar Chase, bang, tick. Bloody ends up being a boom. Good on you. Bijan finally hit the end zone. And you see that as soon as he gets scores, he actually is a boom. I think he's going to end up being a boom, but it's
Yeah,
sitting there at the moment. He just got to keep
yeah,
in the end zone. So I'm okay with him at the minute. Um, St. Brown, I think there's just too many mouths to feed at Detroit. I'm not exactly. I couldn't even tell you what he is at the moment. Like in
Lucas will tell me. Let's
the
have a
waiver
look.
wire, sort of, yeah, you're not wanting a number 21 wide receiver there, but I think there's honestly
Yeah,
too many mouths to feed there. I really do. He's played through a lot of injury the last 2 weeks. Maybe it's finally not last 2 years. Maybe it's starting to finally catch up with him. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's still a doom at the moment. Into Jeff Art. Jeff has bang tick of approval. Well done, superstar.
Massive.
Fucking
Even with,
no one pulled it. And he slid too. That's the big thing at
yeah.
1-9. That's a slide. You love that. AJ Brown the same. I think John O'Taylor's been injured, so I'll probably just give him the push away. And I
Hmm.
won't probably talk about him. Into Saquon, being dominant the first few weeks. I'll give him a boom at the moment in the second. Same with Gibbs, even though it's sort of a heightened ceiling. I think it's enough at the moment. Kyron's injured, so I'm just going to move past that into the probably the only other worst thing I can fucking say, and that is the only bloke who's not on Kobe's team that I really hate, and he's actually on my team in the Flash. So I thought I
Which
better
doesn't
really
help.
jump in on this. This guy sucks. Like he's had 5 injuries in the last 2 weeks. He's
It feels like the medical team are popping up the blue tent just so Doug Peterson can be like, get Travis Etienne off the field.
do you
Just
reckon it's
chuck him in the blue tent. I don't know.
do you reckon
Find
it's
something.
Do you reckon it's a bit of Will Minson sort of stuff with Rocket Eat?
Get him
Rocket,
off.
we
Get him
can't,
off.
we can't think. We can't think. You're gonna have to quieten down, like because I'm telling you right now, I don't even have to see this bloke in person, and I'm already bloody going, get him off, get
Yeah.
him off. So yeah, I don't think there's much more. I think week to week's going to be a stretch. I think he's going to miss time because I think they just want Tank just to get the ball, and I can't blame.
Yeah.
'Em. I
And
think.
who knows if Doug Peterson comes back from London at this
Oh,
stage? Like,
you wouldn't have thought so. You really wouldn't have thought so.
no.
The only good thing is that they've got the Patriots. If they lose to the Patriots, they're done. He's done.
Yeah.
He's out of there. So I think, yeah, ETN is probably the biggest doom away from Kobe's team.
Correct.
That's probably the best way I can put it. I think he's droppable. I think you've got to get rid of him. I think you've got to get him on the waivers. And just the only way you do it is hope that Doug Pearson goes.
Yeah.
That's the only other way that you got. Anyway, moving on. Into the King. That's it. Tick of approval.
That's
Get him in.
massive.
Huge. In the second round too. Obviously, everyone was scared that he was old, and he was also going to a team that also plays a running back, but disguised as a quarterback.
Yeah. And
Um,
doesn't play the way that he's played for as many seasons as he's been
yep,
in the league.
yep.
It was a bit of a not even an issue week one. I think he still found the end zone. He's found the end zone
Yeah, no, I'm
every
pretty sure it was on
game.
his first run,
Yeah.
wasn't it? That he found the
Yeah.
end. It was something
That's
bullshit,
massive.
but yeah,
That's
huge.
massive. He's the fourth best player in fantasy
Yeah,
overall.
massive, absolutely
That's
massive.
that's so
It's
awesome.
huge, huge. So no, love that. Garrett Wilson is a doom. He only had 1 week where he actually was really fantasy relevant when he had 22 targets. So he's a doom. New coach might help that, but until I see it, don't like it. Cooper Cup injured. We're going to move on. Pacheco injured. Move on. Puka injured. Move on. Into Ayuk, who I'm still going to turn around and re-rip. He still sucks. He got his guaranteed money and he is sitting down going, oh, how good's life?
And
Uh,
also, like Ayuk was holding out when we were in the draft as well. Like
correct.
we knew that he wasn't a training camp.
Yep. And that's what happens when you don't go get your reps, you end up being no good. You are not as good as what you think you are. You've got to put the work in. Just like how Kobe should have put work into his researching and into a better draft time.
Fuck me.
So, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. My rant's over. I'm happy to pull some people back down to level peggings.
All
Into yours,
right.
I dare say, into the flash.
So we'll jump into the flash now, just noting that Brad's team is Stracker's team.
Yep.
So if you see that and you get confused, that's why. I'm going to start in the top left corner with McCaffrey. That's a big doom. Again, calf injury, pretty fucked up. It's actually the same two draft picks that
Yep.
that Kobe did, and yeah, not really looking good for Riz. Obviously he's one end, so. Moving into Tyreek Hill, I give that a doom as well. Massive doom. No Tua, no Miami. This is all stuff that you've said, Matt.
Yep.
Drop it into CeeDee Lamb. Like again, CeeDee Lamb has been unders this year. Couple that with ETN, I'll cover him off. I think that for me is a huge doom.
To think
Um,
Droppers rolled them though. He's twisted them back around and actually made it work in his favor. So
yeah, so that's
good,
that's a
good on
man that's
him.
paying attention. That's
Yep,
what we
absolutely.
like.
Love to see that.
Kelly into Saquon Barkley, who we thought was reaching so high at the time, and we dragged. I
We
think that's
ripped.
a massive boom. It's
Yep,
a
we
boom.
we
I don't
ripped her too. We ripped her as well. Thank God she doesn't
what.
watch this.
Well, yeah, thank God. She's in Thailand too, apparently. So
Oh, is she? Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, jeez.
yeah. So number three running back on the year, getting him at 1.4. That's awesome.
Yep.
Bijan, yeah, I'm heading trending towards a boom there. I think that offense is looking better now that they've kind of changed it up. I think it's only gonna, like you said, I think it's only gonna increase for the rest of the year. Jamar Chase, boom. Justin Jefferson, boom. Brees Hall, I'll say it. It's a doom. It's a doom right now. Hopefully the game script is flipping. Sweepers, I don't know what your roster looks like at the moment, but I hope you've got Braylon
It's not.
Allen too.
He doesn't have Brees.
Breezy,
I'm pretty sure
great.
he sold him.
Good for you, Sweepers. St. Brown also just middling. Like I just don't love it. And like I just don't think that he has the same upside as AJ Brown does. But at the same time, like I probably would have drafted him here. So giving him a middling, I
Yeah,
could
I'm giving
probably
him the doom. I'm telling you now. I reckon he's
but
still.
you've just got it because he's on your team. And you're also clouded
I
by
don't
the
have
fact he
him.
had
I
like a
don't even have
one.
him now. I don't even
Ah,
have him.
oh well,
You can't be wide receiver 21 and not be a doom when you're getting drafted
yeah.
in the first round.
That's a good point. AJ Brown looked really good this week, so I think that now that Marty also survived, not I don't know if these team, if he's still on Marty's team, but Marty is still got a pretty um, positive
Yes.
win-loss record. So John Taylor at Doom because he's injured now. Jamar Gibbs, boom, because he's winning. He's still getting those touches. Like despite that being a split backfield, like he still is the one that gets the most yardage. Demont kind of comes in for that goal line stuff to an extent, but at the same time, they're both getting touchdowns. That's awesome. Puka, Doom, Derrick Henry in the second, massive boom. Probably the biggest boom on the board for me.
Yeah, that's huge.
Garrett Wilson, Jack also following the Brad strategy of chase into Wilson. Wilson is a middling for me. I just don't think Aaron Rodgers is up to it this year. He's looked really shit from the start, but I think now that they've changed the offensive, even though Rodgers calls the offense from the line, they've changed the offensive coordinator. That might help. It looked like it helped this week, so that's
Maybe
middling
they're
for me.
practicing what they're actually trying to put in place come game day now.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a
fucking,
little bit of
I'd hope
that.
so. Kyron Williams is someone that I don't know too much about, so I'm going to click into him. He's fifth IB overall, getting him in the second. That's a boom to me. Probably off, hasn't dropped below an 11.
Yeah,
I'd
we
love to
take
start
that.
that every
We
week.
absolutely take that. Yeah, you'd want that every day of the week. I actually thought he was injured, to be honest, so I couldn't
Yeah,
even told you.
he's
Yeah,
not.
you
Nobody
go.
talks about the Rams now that
No one wants to.
Cup's entered.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
one
why
wants.
would you?
Yep.
Cup and Puka being out hurts the Rams, but
Yep.
obviously
Uh,
increases Williams' value.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Devonta Adams, massive, massive doom. Obviously, he's holding out now as well. They might not even trade him. So
Yeah, I've heard that. I have heard that. The only good
it's
thing
pretty
is he
interesting as
does
well because
like the quarterback.
they started AOC this week as well, and I think he looked
Mm,
pretty shit. So
yeah. Yeah.
ETN, we don't need to talk about this guy anymore. Marvin Harrison, I don't know how that looks.
I've got him as
How's
a
he faring
Doom.
the year?
I've got him as a Doom at the moment.
I thought it was a reach at the time, and I think it's still looking like a reach. Like I've just pulled his points up. He started really slow with a 0.4 into a 25, a 12, a 10, and then dropping back up into a 3.6 and then a concussion. So for that reason, it's a doom. You want your best players playing, and yeah, taking a rookie in the second round.
Yeah,
I
big
don't
balls.
know. I never
Big
thought it was
balls.
a good idea.
Yep.
And then we land back on Ayuk, which we also don't want to talk about anymore.
Which is also disgusting.
Yeah. So I hope that was cathartic for some people. It
Yep.
probably just made people upset.
Probably. Probably. Who cares?
But
That's what
like
we're here to do.
this is the line in the sand where we stop talking about drafts.
Yep.
We are what a third of the way into the season now,
Yeah,
just
it's
over
yeah.
a third.
Yep. Yeah, wherever it's
Um,
good. Yeah.
so now it's more about the moves you make rather than the draft you had.
Yeah.
So jumping in to next week's sort of matchups in. in predictions that are way too early for week 7, we'll start in the
Aren't they?
Flash.
With no waivers. It's just on what guy you like more, really, isn't it?
I
It's
think
only
really
on
we can probably do this from the homepage. Like I
I'm
think
I'm honestly hearing you here. The only thing that I can think of is buys is your only issue.
yeah, you're right. We should probably flick through them. So we'll start with Jack versus Droth. Just doing a quick scan. Some
Obviously,
pretty.
Trey Sermon will come out. Um,
He's got a defense on bye. Jack's got a defense on bye, which I don't know. Do you drop Rashad White? That's probably a good
Probably do
question.
now. You do now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So they're talking about
A
in
three-pronged
yeah,
backfield.
Tampa Bay, three-pronged backfield with who is it? It's Bucky Irving and then Trey somebody, right?
Whatever his name is. Yeah, he's
It's not going to come up here.
no, it should be here. Sean Tucker.
Sean Tucker, not Trey Tucker. Who looked awesome. Both he and
Yeah.
Bucky had touchdowns, and they both might have had like 100 yards or something. It was pretty
Yeah.
incredible.
Bucky ended up with 16 points. So yeah, about 100
Yeah,
yards and a tutty. So yeah, it's an exciting offense though, I will admit. That's the only thing
yeah,
that makes you go, "Oh, do I keep Rashad?" But yeah, no, I think he's the one to go. I really do think that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
And then
how long till Pacheco's still 3 or 4 weeks away, isn't he?
when did he? Yeah, over it's
6 to 8. So he's 2 to 4, I guess.
yeah.
Yep. Right. That's yeah. So he's not coming back. So he's gonna have to get something off the waiver.
I wonder if he drops anyone that's in his lineup.
Trey Sermon.
Sermon. Yeah, that's easy.
Yep. I'm going off that. Does Cup come back?
I don't think this week for some
No.
reason. I don't. Who are they playing? That's probably the best question. Las Vegas. Maybe he does come
What?
back.
Oh, yeah. Had a
Las.
successful workout.
You'd probably want to come back against Las Vegas rather than
I'd rather Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. Well, off that, just going to go straight out and say that Droff's going to get the W.
Do you play him? What do you reckon?
Um, yeah, I would. I definitely would.
I think if he's out there, you've got to play him because like who else are they throwing to?
I'm hearing you. I'm absolutely
Yeah.
hearing
I think I'm going to take Droff as well. There's so many similarities between Droff's team and my team, so I always have to
you.
pick him.
Yep. Yep, that's fair enough.
Now we've got Marty versus Strap. A quick scan for buys shows that CD Lamb is on
CD.
buy.
Yep. They will
And
be
then
out,
Olave will
obviously.
be out. Neighbors will probably
Neighbours
come
will
back
play.
in.
Neighbours will play now. It'd be
Brandon
very
Aubrey, who I can
well.
only assume is the best kicker.
Well, it's
Yep.
also it's also Marty, so I dare say he's probably all playing these sides. So I'm actually going to pick Strap. He's probably not going to change anything, so I'm going to go with Strap.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Strap as well, just because I know Sean a little bit, and I think that he's gonna labor over that loss that he had to the bye, and probably hit the
Yep.
waivers a little bit harder than Marty will.
Yep. Would have to agree.
Speaking of the bye, jumping in now, he's got Riz has DeAndre Swift on bye, and that looks to be it. I don't think McCaffrey comes back this week.
I don't think he does either. Obviously, yeah, I dare say he's probably going to have to go to the wire. I'm pretty sure he's still going to have number one pick anyway. So yeah,
Yeah,
he can play whatever he likes. I think
there's a few good tasty waivers this week. Like if you take you could take the Tampa Bay running back. There was another guy that popped off too, wasn't there? I
great
should know
question.
this.
Great question. I've really hated fantasy this week, so I've tried
Well,
to get in
yeah.
my mind, and I'll look at it tomorrow.
And then Shweepers has, I think, a full roster playing this round.
Looks to
Um,
be, yeah,
looks to
looks to
be.
be. So Brian
Hopefully,
will
Brian
come
Robinson
in.
comes back against a
Yep, there's
soft belly in
Carolina.
Carolina. That
Yep.
would be really nice. Ramondre was out last round as well.
Yeah, I don't think they're over in London. Just you'd steer clear of that. You'd hope
Yeah,
to play the rest of them. I'm actually gonna go with sweepers. I think here,
yeah.
just to keep me off the bottom.
I think I would Sweepers as well.
Yeah,
Again, just like some of those game scripts are going to be a little bit kinder to him. Swift has also been really good, so having him out of
yeah,
Riz's
that
team
hurts.
kind of scares me.
Yep, that hurts a lot.
Probably worth noting that yeah, in terms of actual NFL games, we've got San Fran versus Kansas City, which should be
Yeah.
pretty exciting.
Which should be a good watch anyway. Just football wise.
Now we've got Dougal versus Kelly, two powerhouses, and we've already talked up Dougal's team quite a lot
Yep.
here. We've had a bounce back from Brees Hall. Jerome Ford will probably go out of Dougal's squad. Ideally, Nick Chubb comes for a straight swap. That would
Yeah,
be
you're gonna have
incredible for
to.
him.
Yeah, he was gonna try and have to pick up something off the waivers. Obviously, you'd think that James Cook plays as well on Kelly's side.
Yeah, yeah. Who's out
The
with turf toe,
narrowly,
I think, right?
yeah, narrowly missing, but that can linger. That's
Yeah, turf toes are awful, apparently.
yeah, yep. So, you'd hope, yeah, being close game time decision or on the day of, you'd think that he gets up. I'm fuck, I'm torn here. I really am torn. I'm gonna go
I'm
for
gonna.
Kelly.
I was gonna say I'm gonna pick first and take Dougal.
Yeah, I'll go
But that
Kelly.
works out.
That works great. That's good for the both of us there.
I really want Brees Hall to keep running. So obviously Pittsburgh, a bit of a tighter D unit. But he's got Jane Daniels, who's just gonna tear Carolina
Oh,
apart. So
yeah, that's gonna be so good to watch. It's gonna be fun. The only thing that you think of is maybe they're just gonna go to all 400 of their running backs,
yeah,
and
that'd be
Jake Daniels
nice.
doesn't have to do anything.
If Robinson comes back, that'd be really nice for
Yep,
me.
yep, would love that.
Last matchup, you've got Billy. And I'm just doing a scan of the lineups. It looks like you've got DJ Moore on bye. He's got Jake Ferguson.
Yep,
Um,
obviously it hurts a bit. Bucky Irving probably goes bad. ETN will go out.
yeah.
And I've got some things to do. I probably end up still playing both my Miami guys, even though that sucks.
So that matchup's against Indy, whose defense doesn't really spring to mind. So I
No,
can't really
no.
predict
So
what's going to happen there.
that's even if Agent gets up as well.
Yeah. What's he out with?
I think he had concussion, so he might have gone.
Yeah, concussion.
Yeah, he might
But
have
they're
gone.
off the bye, right? So it should be
Yeah,
okay.
well, depends if he's seen any bright lights with Malik Neighbours or not.
Yeah. Well, Travis Scott comes to Australia in like 2 weeks, so hopefully that's good.
Hopefully, I'm good to go by then. So yeah, look, I'm gonna change my tactic because I'm 1-5 and I sort of have to now. I'm gonna go the Moz. I'm actually
You're gonna go.
I'm gonna Moz Billy. And I'm gonna
That's a
pick.
shame because I'm also going to tip Billy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's flick over to the Mams and round this out. We'll start at the bottom as we always do,
Yep,
in the right week, which is week 7.
that's a great idea.
Now pulling up Hayden and Pat, having a quick scan of lineups. It looks like both
Trey comes
teams,
out.
yeah, both teams will be able to play full
They'll
rosters
come
just
in.
based on who's come in. It looks like Hayden obviously had a short week this week because he's already set his roster for next week. He's got AJ in the flex,
Doesn't make
which is
sense, does it? Is he still on school holidays? Is he?
that's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna say come Tuesday morning, I'm usually looking towards next week because I'm
Do
starting to
you
think
know
about
what?
waivers.
Normally I've already lost by then, and so am I.
What do you think about is Bijan going to keep it going against
I
Seattle?
actually
That's a
think he
pretty
will.
tight.
I actually think he's turned the corner. Like I think like he's had the yardage there still. He's had the
Yeah.
production and he's had the yardage. He just hasn't been able to find the end zone. So I'm really hoping. Yeah, I'm really hoping for his sake that's the case. Actually, I'm really hoping that I'm wrong, but I think it's
Yeah.
gonna. Um,
Yeah. I think I've got Hayden in this one. Just
yeah,
feel like Pat's got a little bit too many moves to make. Obviously, Sermon will have to
just
come out, and
Colin Murray just scares me now that COD's actually been released and
yeah.
the face of COD.
Dallas
Um,
got it. Also, that's a tough out. Like
yeah,
there's no one really to replace him with unless you get
no, and
a
you're gonna
real
hold.
boom off the waiver.
Yeah, and you're gonna try and hold Waddle as much as you can. You're gonna hold Devonta Adams. You obviously play John O'Taylor. You think,
Yeah,
um,
which is good. I mean, it's always good to have the handcuffs straight
and then
back
you
in.
probably
So
are. You probably could be holding the handcuff at the moment, being first game back for him as well. So.
yeah.
Yeah, he's 3-3 at the moment. Yeah, even if he ended up going 3-4, you sit there and go, I'm sitting okay still. If John O'Taylor goes all right, then yeah, then you're happy to go. The only thing I am worried about is him playing Wendell Robinson. That scares the shit out of me.
Whoa, he's been like sneaky good though, hasn't
It
he?
still scares the shit out of me.
Yeah. So look at these targets. I'll read them out. Week one,
Yeah,
12 targets. Week two, 4 targets. Week three, 8 targets. Week four, 14 targets. Week five, 9 targets. Week six, 11 targets. Pretty
yeah,
crazy.
that's a lot of targets, but
It hasn't equated to much though. Obviously, like
no.
his high is an even 10 points in a week five. So um, you're probably looking for from your flex. You're probably looking honestly just for more boom or bust. You
Yeah,
kind of don't want to. You don't really want to middle out like this,
yeah.
which he's kind of forced to, given that Waddle was on by and Devontae Adams is holding out.
You still
So
don't want to play Waddle until Tua comes back anyway.
yeah,
Really.
and that's not too far away though, is it? He comes off. I
Think week 8.
I wonder if this will tell me.
We can just go
Two weeks
down
ago,
to
the fourth year of the whiteout. 2 weeks ago, July.
no, keep going down
No,
and just click on him in the thingo. Yeah, click on
I
Tua.
did not know I could do that. Won't play in week 7.
Yeah, so can
Is
come in
out for
week
another
8.
week. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know it tabbed
He's
like this.
expected to
That's
play again
cool.
this season.
Yeah.
He's expected to play next
Yeah. So
season.
you've got
So,
to hold. You've got to
yep.
hold.
So you got to hold that. So he's sort of between a bit of a rock and a hard place at the moment,
Yeah. And like really, Hayden's only got CD Lamb or buy, which is good. Like
which is great for
ideally,
him. It means he doesn't
yeah.
have to play him.
Yeah. Who do they? Oh, yeah. I was gonna say who do they have, but they don't have
Yeah, the
anyone. Obviously,
bye.
they're
They
on
have
bye.
Riz. They're playing
Hey,
Riz.
hey, strap loss to the bye. So,
Hey, he did. He did. Hey, CD might not get a touch this week.
I've got Hayden. Who are you
Yep.
gonna
Same.
take in this one?
Same. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Now we've got Bradley in with Tick. So obviously Tick coming off his main win. Having a quick scroll of rosters. Let's see if anything is predicted to change here. Few empty slots of defense, which the boys I assume will fix. Brad doing the alpha move of dropping his defense today just to get ahead of Nick Chubb or Puka. Puka, I think he picked
I
up.
reckon it was Puka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think look, I think the big one's probably Joe Mixon. If he goes again, like obviously quarterback, it's a wash. Montgomery at the moment with Henry, that's probably a wash at the moment.
Yep.
Kamara with Brown, you're probably sitting to Braff a little bit. Look,
Yeah,
big boom or
especially against
bust.
Denver. Like
Yep.
Pat Surtain went out this week as well. Like if we're
Yeah.
really talking about defense, like he went out real early. I feel like it was a leg complaint. Oh no,
Yeah.
maybe it
Okay.
was a concussion. Maybe it
Wow.
wasn't concussion. Um, Either or, but like obviously he's a wide out or like
Yep.
a corner, sorry. But yeah, like Kamara is just so dangerous.
Yeah. Yep.
That
Yep. It's
you
still
know you'd
sort of
exploit
the only
that.
thing that scares you is that's the Friday game. That's when you sit there and go, fuck, like if they're a little bit banged up, they've got the Q tag there, the questionable
Yeah,
tag. Like, that's a bit scary. I think the wide receivers obviously scare a little bit. Obviously, with Nico Collins out, Steph Diggs becomes a little bit better of an option.
pretty big. Yeah,
Yeah, so a bit very much boom or bust. Tight end, I just will not talk about either of them, even though they both have sort of looked like they've turned a
pretty
corner.
interesting though. Brad's got a choice to make this week. He's got Travis Kelce and then he's got Laporta on his bench.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm waiting until Laporta does something before I'm landing him.
yeah, that's true. And Kelsey's kind of come back into the game scripts as
Yep,
well. Like I think
yep.
last 2 weeks he's had what, like
Now that
sevens?
yeah, since Rashi Rice has come
Yeah,
out, he's sort of 9 and 10
yeah,
now.
8.9 and a 7. So coming off the bye,
Need to
they
find
are.
some end zone.
Marv will
Obviously,
be out for Brad, so that's probably something that we haven't
yeah,
considered. But
yeah.
he's
You
probably
also
hoping that Chubb comes
have
straight back
players.
in.
Yep. Otherwise, you probably dropped Dowdle anyway.
Yeah,
In the end, or you might even drop Laporta. To be honest, that's
yeah,
it. That could definitely happen.
yeah.
So
So what's Laporta done on the year out of interest? He had a touchdown this week, and that was it. First
he's still
touchdown of the
tight end
year. Yeah.
11.
That's crazy. That's
Isn't it
so crazy.
ridiculous?
He's had 5, 7, 10, 15. He's had 15 targets of the year and he's
Yeah.
the tight end 11.
Yeah. Shows how bad it is, isn't it?
It's a
Yeah.
wasteland.
Time to get rid of the tight end position.
Yeah. Yeah,
Can't get rid of
hard,
it. No,
hard to argue.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna lean towards Brafley. Um, yeah, I think he's just gonna got a little bit too much firepower.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Tick just for the sake of a bit of differentiation. We didn't go through the tipping results, but we've got a bit of a lead. So I'm gonna try and keep that going. It'll be funny if Brad loses as well, because he won't know.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be phenomenal. Love that.
All right, let's keep swimming. We've got Tom and Clem. A quick sweep
Must be some
of
dramas going on with Tommy Boy. If he's projecting 76, you'd think that it's got to be something. Or
yeah.
DJ,
So he's
yeah,
got DJ Moore on bye. He's got Brandon Aubrey, number one kicker in the game, on bye.
he's going to hold him. You think Jonesy probably comes in, and then yeah, then you can
Jordan
pick
Addison.
Jordan
Did they
Addison,
play this week? Or did they have the bye? No, they didn't.
Jordan Minison.
Yeah.
It gets me every time. It's so good. I don't
I
love
don't
the
know.
nickname, but I like his.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. Tom's always pretty active on waivers as well.
Yeah.
So um if way Worthy comes in, Addison comes in, then what else happens?
Yeah, I don't think it's
Like,
as big as what everyone. Yeah, I think there's a bit of a worry. You probably don't play Javante, to be honest. You probably take him
mm,
out. You try and throw some shit around to be able to get that to happen. But it looks like he hasn't got really any other running backs to play the game. I don't think.
no, because none are in his flex.
Oh, he got that.
Jonesy's week to week, I think.
Yeah, but
Oh
he
man.
yeah, he was on the field.
Man,
It
this
though,
this gives
actually,
me heebie-jeebies seeing
yeah,
Aaron Jones week to week
yeah,
or day to day. Yuck.
yeah, he's good at that. Very good at that. Only a matter of time.
Clem in a bit of a slip as well. So pretty interesting to see if he can bounce back. Like just
Yeah.
looking Joe Burrow against Cleveland, like that game script could be pretty crazy because that game could be over by halftime.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, into Kareem Hunt, into Zach Moss, you'd think he doesn't play him. You'd think like the Bengals
Yeah.
cannot run.
But
So
again, against Cleveland, it could be a get right game. Like all this stuff could
yeah, I don't know.
maybe I'm
Yeah,
overestimating that. Jeffers against Detroit, I think, is really interesting to me.
yeah.
Like this big players get up for big games, and I feel like this
I,
is one
I
for him.
think it's going to be huge for him. I really do think it's going to be huge. Yeah, that's enough as I need to see to go with Clem.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna take Clem as well. And I'm gonna zag. Yeah. No, I'm probably not gonna zag. I think this is just once you get to the bye weeks, the differentiation just kind of
Yeah,
comes a
yeah.
little bit
I'm not even looking
closer
at
to.
Kobe's. I'm picking Footbrush.
Yeah,
I
Footbrush
can't rip
in
him
pretty
as
hot form as well.
yeah, I can't rip him as much as I did and then pick him.
Yeah.
I just can't.
I'm just trying to find like, is there any positive for Kobe? Obviously,
No,
ETN questionable, Jerome Ford out.
Brennan Ayuk sucks.
Yeah, Mike Evans game scripts flipped on him, and they're going to play Baltimore as well, which is
Yeah,
nasty for him.
J.K.
George
Dobbins will be all right.
Kittle, kind of nice. George Kittle can be kind of nice again. I just want that to be a high scoring matchup. Yeah, like you said, Dobbins good, Tolbert in the bye, so Shakir will come in for him. Does he? You play Darnold.
Surely gets. Surely he's playing Darnold and he's getting rid of someone and
Yeah, I assume he's dropping Kirk. But
yeah,
yeah.
you'd think so. You'd think you'd have to.
Then on the other side, Footbrush, he's got Bucky on the bench,
Yeah, but
who
that's
might
going
not,
in a
yeah,
three-pronged backfield, so you sort of get a
yeah, who
bit
might not
worried by
play.
that.
Yeah, he might not
No,
play. Like
no.
I just look at Footbrush's side and I'm like, yeah, I probably wouldn't
Yeah,
touch this.
I think
Like
I'm.
even Chuba running into Washington, like
Yeah,
they can't really stop anyone. So
again, yeah, yeah. High scoring offense. He's involved in everything. Like yeah, it should be if they're gonna get anywhere near it, the offense has to fire really.
the only
Um,
person that like could be on the cusp, I would say would be Drake London, but we know that that's Footbrush's boy.
yeah,
So
it's not about to
he
happen.
plays.
Yep,
Cool.
scary.
Yeah, I got
Mm,
Footbrush as well. Like, sorry, it's too easy sometimes.
yep, yep. It sure is.
All right, we got finally got me and the Zax man running through the game scripts here, just in case there is anything to worry about. He's got Rashid Shaheed, who will be out. with concussion. Knee,
He's
probably.
yeah, yep, yep. The concussion of the knee. Yep. Right. You are right.
You know, it's so funny. We're recording so much earlier, and I've got so much more energy. It just feels like that was like the one time that we've slipped so far. I had that thought halfway through, and I was like, oh wow, it really
We've
does
been,
make a difference.
yeah, we should do this earlier every week. Maybe we should change
Yeah.
odd days. Wednesdays do work well though, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Well, it's just the waiver. It just makes it
Yep.
for this part in particular.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think Lamar on the Tuesday is going to be interesting for me.
Yeah.
Lamar and James Conner. James Conner had a bum 2 weeks, I think, in a row now, or bum 1 week.
Yeah, I
But
think I think it's going to bounce back.
hopefully B Rob comes back for me. Debo in a pretty big matchup. It gets pretty nasty from here on out for me, but I've got
Look,
Tank
Tank Dell
Dell.
helps.
Yeah.
Covering the Leafs. Oof. How are you 4-1?
How am I 4-1?
Five and
How?
one. Five and
Somebody
one.
explain it to me. You
How are
know
you
how?
5-1? Lamar, yeah,
This is the
best
number one
player.
player
Yep,
overall,
yep.
which is Lamar Jackson, which
You know what?
is super
Check it
kind
out.
to me.
Checks out. Yep.
Um, but yeah, with my receiving core is thin. It's Calvin
Oh,
Ridley, Amari Cooper,
yeah, yeah. That's
uh, and
much.
my bench is why
Fresh
is
come
Bruce all
in.
on the bench? Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know
Yes.
why
You
that's.
said it on Tuesday. You said, did you? Oh, you better keep it then.
Ah, yeah, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know what
better
I've
keep
done
it.
there. Maybe it's a bit of gamesmanship
Yeah,
for the
maybe,
projections.
maybe.
Flipping over CJ Stroud against Green Bay, they've got a pretty good passing defense, but again, I don't think that's going to stop CJ Stroud despite missing Nico. Tony Pollard, Buffalo, pretty soft in the run defense from memory. What did
Yeah,
they do
look,
today? Yeah,
I
Brees
do
had a
think.
pretty big day today as well.
Yeah, I don't think Buffalo is are as scary as what Buffalo at Buffalo isn't as scary before
Yeah.
Christmas, really. Um,
Kenny Walk's pretty good. T. Higgins looking great. I think he's going to tear up
and against
Cleveland as
Cleveland,
well.
you get that excited. Shaheed, you get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
Um,
Shahid's out.
Ryder,
Zay Flowers, I talked him up before.
yeah,
Kyle Pitts, let's not talk about Kyle Pitts.
Austin Eckler, I can understand against Carolina. I can get that.
Yeah, I would be interested. Like, I think Brian Robinson plays this week.
I think
So
so too. But all three running backs could actually do something though.
Eckler gets the goal line work. Like
Yeah,
he has and he always will.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean,
And
looking at the bench,
I don't play the other two. The only one you look in is bringing Tyreek in. But yeah,
yeah,
you probably still end up bringing him in because you'll probably hate
I
yourself if
think
you
you
don't.
have to. I think
Yeah.
you have to, right? Like
And it sucks, and you sit there and go, God damn it. So he probably comes in for Shaheed, and then that's probably it.
for me, this looks like a really good matchup.
Yep.
And you know what that actually means?
What does that
It's gonna
actually
be
mean?
it's gonna be
Dog shit.
80 versus 82.
No, no, no. Or it's going to be 105 v 60.
Yeah, I
It's going to
reckon.
be, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but I've
anyway,
got me. I'm
I'm picking
really looking
Zach's.
forward to this.
Yeah, I'm zagging. I'm picking Zach's.
I think that makes sense. All right, let's have a look. Before I bring up the tipping results, I just thought I'd bring this up. Um, just because you asked before, what we're looking at is Jack's punishment.
Yep.
He is sitting on 1,166 likes with a single comment, which I like now, for a
That's
bit of
right.
engagement.
Yeah. Well,
I did mention this, and I think it kind of came off in passing as if it was a joke, but I did purchase 1,000 likes off the dark web for him off this. So it's got 166 likes. So if you guys want to bump it again, like feel free.
I think we might have to bump it. I don't have TikTok, so this is my first issue.
Of course you don't.
Like, I'm lucky to have the other ones. I just want a phone that works
I'm
off phone.
surprised that you have Zoom.
Yeah, well, that was purely because of COVID, I think.
That's so funny.
Look
Yeah,
at me
just
go.
checking in on last week's tipping. So we didn't have these are the actual scores. So again, like we weren't really close with the Kelly and Billy matchup.
Yeah,
Um,
you can take
and
that.
same with Tom and Zach's weren't really that close.
No, no, weren't close enough for us to get anywhere near it.
Yeah, so what we're looking at now is like just in terms of totals. I've jumped out to a 2 tip lead over Brad. You're 2 tips behind him.
Yeah, and then Tom just fell off the cliff. Then,
Yeah, Tom's too busy in Thailand.
yeah, yeah, disappointing to be honest. You'd think he'd be better than that.
I would have hoped so, but
Yeah,
you know, he is on holiday with Xavier. So
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah,
what does
it
that
does
mean?
bring you down, I guess.
Think about it. Awesome. Well, this has been a pleasure.
And Dave's knees are sore too. There
I've
is
got
no
I've
laugh.
got a lot of respect if they make it through to this. I've got a lot of respect for them telling that story in the most telling the
Yeah,
most boring story I've ever heard in the most interesting way possible.
yeah. They gave themselves a fair crack, didn't they?
I was
They
like, I
really
was
did.
reading it and I was like, wow, Tom has written this beautifully, but
Yep.
really,
Nothing
who
happens.
cares?
Literally nothing happens. He literally tried to catch a ball and hit his knee. That's it.
Thank you, Matt. Just as a note, I think the challenge is out for Matt next week to release a solo pod.
Yeah, yep. Both the boys are absolutely shafting me. So,
Yeah,
um,
turns out
yeah,
October is a perfect time to jet set for a couple of boys in the league.
apparently, one's with commitments on throughout a weekday. Yeah, and it's every week too, and they know that they've got a commitment, yet they're still deciding
Mm,
not to. So
right.
yeah.
I would do it from overseas, but there's no way I'm taking my work laptop
No,
overseas.
can't blame you. Can't blame you. Yeah, you guys gotta talk between yourselves next time you guys start going on holidays. If someone's already booked one in, the other person can't go.
Yeah, for
That's the rules
sure.
from here on in, I think.
All right, awesome. Thanks again. I'll talk to
All
you
right,
soon.
all right.
Pleasure.
Ready, chore. Never.
Oh no.